Welcome back. Today, Marketplace Masteries, we're going to go over a little bit of phone sales. Phone sales is, in my opinion, the best way of communicating with more people than not. I know a lot of people that do face-to-face sales. Personally, it's just not for me. I don't want to market in just a small, 50 to a 75 mile radius. Personally, I want to be all over the country, and I do that by doing everything over the phone. So this right here is pretty much how I make my living. It works. You pick it up, you dial a few numbers, and then you talk on it. And at the very end, if you're good at your job, you'll hang up this phone and you'll make money. So it's really that easy. Now, there's a lot of different types of phone sales strategies and types of sales people that are out there. With this type of sale, I don't necessarily think it needs to be a very hard closing type of sale. You don't have to be ultra salesy. Like, to me, this is all about helping. I feel that if you do it the right way, it's gonna come across really well. But again, my whole thing is I have a strategy, a straightforward pitch that I use. What we are going to do is explain the difference between the good salesman and the bad salesman, and really explain what the better salesmen are doing that the good and the bad aren't. Because anyone can sell these plans, right? I mean, to be a bad salesman, you would literally have to be, I don't know, I can probably teach my 7-year-old to sell these plans. It's that easy. But when it comes down to the good salesmen are going to help. But what the good salesmen are not going to do is understand who's a buyer versus who's not. See, there's a lot of questions that you can ask, and you can form a really good understanding of how you can develop skills to figure out who's a buyer versus who's not. And the faster you can figure these skills out, the better you're going to be on the phone. See, a lot of people wonder and they worry about tire kickers or people that are just there to talk to you. But when it comes down to these types of plans, if you pre-qual it correctly, and again, when you're doing telesales, your pre-qualification is probably the most important part of everything. Because again, these plans are going to sell. There's nothing wrong with these plans. These plans are fire, as they'll say. These are the best insurance plans that are on the market. So these plans are going to sell. So the reality, the only thing that your job as a telesalesman to do is to qualify. And part of the qualification process is figuring out who's tire kicking, who's going to buy, and who's going to buy later, and who's going to buy now. Because again, if you're tire kicking, get off my phone. I don't have time for tire kickers. This is an enrollment center. You can definitely say, this is Mike with the enrollment center, because I'm not here to play games. This isn't the question. I'm not customer service. This is the enrollment center. And then at that point, we can go on to the next thing. But at the same point, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and you're going to want to explain why you're here. You're here to help. So if you do your job right and you pre-qual correctly, you'll get to the bottom of things. The last thing you want to do is go through a 25-minute presentation and say, okay, well, payment's done electronically, and the person's not even on the phone anymore. I mean, I'm sure it's happened. If you do telesales enough, people hang up on you. But with this, very simple. Pre-qual, 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 ask questions, pre-qual, and when the person's ready to go, then you go on with the pitch. So basically, you're going to pre-qual until they're ready to go. And if they're not ready to go, what I mean by ready to go is very simple. Are you buying today? No. When did you plan on making a purchase? Because keep in mind, when it comes down to the Affordable Care Act insurance plans, you don't typically pay at the time that you write the application. But when you're asking the questions, I'll explain this in a later module, but when you're asking the questions, you want to understand, listen, I want to help you, but at the same time, what I don't want to do is just spin wheels and go back and forth over a week and a half. So if you want to buy later, no problem. No problem. Call me back. It's that easy. All right, guys. Well, if you want to telesales, if you want to do this like the masters do, you got to get very uncomfortable. And it's really uncomfortable at times to ask some of these questions because not everyone is used to asking a direct question like, if the benefits make sense, are you in a position to make an enrollment decision today? Today. Like I will literally say, if the benefits make sense today, are you in a position to make an enrollment decision today? Because listen, at the end of the day, if they're not, don't pitch them. If they say, well, I'm just looking for information, be like, okay, well, I'll send it to you via email. The reality of it is that person's not buying. Someone who wants information isn't buying. That's a fact. All right, guys. Telesales. It's all done, man. I've been doing this for 12 years. It's a 1 and a 2. It might be this way, but I'm not sure. 12 years doing health insurance telesales. I don't know many that do it better. All right, guys. You guys rock. And I'm sure we can get it together, and you guys will be the same. All right. Until next one.